Hello everyone and welcome to the I-69 Speedway here in Michigan for the running of the Delphi Technologies 400 here at I-69. This caps off a triple header weekend in Michigan. 2 tracks went to I-69, 1 went to the Michigan International Speedway. Jay Jefferson took home the Mountain Dew Custom Series win in the first win ever for Coors Light Racing, beating out fellow Cup Series driver Anderson Reed, who was driving for Evernham. As well, in the Truck Series, Antoine Smith got his first career win as a driver. So this could be an interesting weekend. We'll see if someone will be able to get their first Cup Series win this weekend. As well, we could see a new team win in the SDCS. Carter Friesen is on pole in the 85. Sauber Racing Team's been having a great year. He's up to 12th in the standings, and they're ready to go put this car possibly into victory lane today here at I-69. Peter Onjak in second. He's had a great year. 4th in the standings, gained 4 spots after a great finish from the back to the front at Steelback last week. And we said, just like last year, if Onjak can qualify up front, he can win races, and that's what he's going to do this year. He's starting second in this event. Jefferson looking to go for a clean sweep of the season in both events he started. He did not run the truck race, but did win the Mountain Dew Custom Series race, looking to win this race. Today, we'll see if those MDCS cars gave him any knowledge of this track, as mostly none of these drivers have ran here at this racetrack. DJ Curtis rolls off 4th, a great run for him. Colton Lane 5th, Monster Motorsports all up here inside this top 10. You got Irving Allison 6th, Austin Murray 7th, Benyako 8th, that's a ton of Toyotas up here, Foster 9th, and Austin Johnson. This team has primary sponsorship, but it just doesn't have it the full season. They've been blank on the quarter panels and the hood for basically the entire year, for about half the year. The last 3 races for sure in that 51, and he puts this car up in 10th. This could help him next year in the Cup Series if he does indeed continue going full-time with his own team. The Aaron's Dream Machine puts new colors on the number 55 for Brandon Morris this weekend. He rolls off 13th in that car for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. And rookie debut, just like last year, Danny Lloyd made his first ever NSDCA start in the number 1 for Reed Racing at Atlanta last year in the second race of the season. With all that moving that we talked about last week, the 91 was vacant after Downey went back to the 69, which he just DNQ'd for this event. Jeff Alloway, a rookie, an unproven talent, drives the 91 to P14 in practice and qualifying. If he gets 14th or better even here at I-69 in this race after 125 laps, that's going to have to be pretty shocking. Kukulon starting a bit further back. Logan Cloud in the 77 once again. Riley Spurley to Larry Hagan. Ryan Butcher and Eli Bright. Not noticed that before, but the TSR guys doing basically the same thing Anjado did last week, except a little higher up. 4 cars under a blanket near the back of the pack, while 1 stands above the rest. Joseph Strigley's last few races haven't gone too well since Road America, trying to revamp his run this year in that number 63. Sam Picard, Mac Johnson Motorsports, MJ Motorsports' driver there in the 07 in the MDCS. He's in the 04 for 3 races this season. The SDCS, and Jose Perez gets a shot in the 03. Monaco not having a great start like he did last week, and Matty Porta in the 20 here at the back of this one. And looking the rest of the way through, Ronnie Hank Racing got a new sponsorship on the 52. Fender will be on the car for a handful of races. Cordell Smith in that car. There you see Anderson Reed at the back, and Patrick Smith in the 3rd CFRO entry. Heartbreaking for them. Neil starts pretty decently up in the field as they end the field with Patrick Smith and Matthew Eves. We're getting ready to go racing. It's going to be 125 laps around this 1 mile oval. Let's go head down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at the Delphi Technologies 400.
Start your engines!
Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pull Award for the fastest qualifier in all 26 Sundrop Cup Series races this season. Today it's Carter Friesen, their first pole of the season for Sauber Racing Team. The 85 driver in his final year competition could come back for the Clash next year with a pole, but let's see if he could possibly come back for the All-Star race if he can win today after 125 laps at the I-69 Speedway. With that, the engines are fired. We're ready to go racing here at the Delphi Technologies 400 at I-69. 40 drivers in this race. This track mainly races kind of like Richmond and Steelback. It's a 1 mile speedway, so it does qualify as a speedway, not a short track. It is 1 mile. But it's hard to pass here. We saw that in the MDCS race. You had to work your way around to get around people. As well, it could be difficult and require getting track position on pit stops or just trying through attrition, really, to make it through this field. It's going to be hard to pass. Track position is key, and if you are starting in that clean air like the 85 and possibly the 44 and 48, you might be able to pull away pretty quickly out to a comfortable lead. You're going to have to watch the guys at the back. It's going to be 125 laps. 50-lap fuel window here puts 2 pit stops on the day. Friesen and Onjak leading us down. Green flags in the air, and we're racing at I-69. Friesen was going to take the race lead, but Jefferson wants to take it immediately from him, and now he's looking for that spot, but he's just going to hang on to second as you see the whole field going 2, maybe even 3 wide. Irving Allison all over the back of DJ Curtis back there, looking 3 wide through the field. There's Cody Goforth going up the middle, Kukulon up the middle, and we are green for lap number 1, but this track, it is very wide as Diego Yepes, now 2 cars, 2 rows, 4 wide, as now you see Cordell Smith on the bottom of that. Yepes sliding up just a little bit, DeLello dropping back, and now we are in a pack back here as even further up, they're still going 2 and 3 wide. Some wild racing at a very wide track here in Michigan, and this is what you think you'd see at the Michigan International Speedway, not at the I-69 Speedway, just a little further away from it, and they are 2, 3, maybe 4 wide still back here with Duncan trying to go up the middle, and this is interesting. The MDCS drivers have gone here multiple times. I think this was their 3rd trip to this track, but this track finally gets its own cup date, at least for this year, so we'll see what they can do here, as now we got a battle for 3rd between Colton Lane and Jay Jefferson. But that is key that this was on the MDCS calendar, because you could see some of the MDCS drivers or just some of the leeches you usually see running good here. And there you see Onjak right to the back of the 85. I don't know if he was a leech at this track before, but it doesn't look like it matters for him. He's going to move that 85 out of the way, take the lead immediately here. 5 laps into the show, he's going to take the lead away from Friesen. Jefferson settles into 3rd, Curtis 4th, Lane 5th. Benyako Murray, there's SWJ up in the top 10, and there is Jeff Alloway right now sitting 10th in that 91 car. We had a lot of critics in the garage this weekend saying the 91 driver, Jeff Alloway, the driver of this number 91, would not be a good pick. And right now, he's gained 4 spots through this race already. Again, it's 6 laps in, but if track position is truly very key here at this racetrack, this could be a big day for the 91 team making his debut. Danny Lloyd ran pretty well at Atlanta last season. So now you see Carson Bowers, your 2nd place in points as he lost the points lead to Colton Lane after blowing up last week at Steelback. But Danny Lloyd ran decently. He had some flashes of brilliance at that Atlanta race. He stayed out to get some track position. He was up at 2nd at one point on pit strategy. So it's not really far to say that Alloway could also have a pretty good day here. I saw a little further back, Spurley too, and Goforth almost making some contact back there. You got Burkhart charging his way through the field, Butcher, Sam Picard, Anderson Reed almost won this race. It was one mistake in the 91 that cost him the race win, basically. He's up to 30th from starting this race, 37th, but he's fighting 3 wide with those guys. Duncan, DeLello, Ray, 3 wide. Patrick Smith just kind of hanging out at the back of that one, and there you see that is where the big battling's happening. That's always how it is usually in the Cup Series. Up front, they kind of get spread out, but in the back, that's where you race. And there are the ex-teammates, Curtis and Carter Friesen, now fighting for the 2nd spot as Jefferson's going to drop back now on that outside line in the 48. But the outside does have a pretty good line here at I-69. This is really a multi-groove racetrack, which is why it was pretty entertaining to see getting on the Cup schedule, especially now. Of course, the MDCS doesn't have pit stops. They're not long races. We definitely wanted to see how this track with its multiple racing grooves could possibly play a factor in longer races and people trying to go around, take spots there. So right now, we're seeing it in action. Up front has been a couple battles, but now in the mid-pack, that's where it's really going. SWJ now losing that top 10 spot to Alloway once again. And this 91 team is going at it, now going after a 2-time NSDCA champion in Carson Bowers. What a drive by the young gun in the 91. Austin Johnson, Tim Foster have dropped out of the top 10 for a little bit. They're still hanging on inside the top 15. And just as I said earlier, it's hard to pass. We're seeing a lot of good action here in the mid-pack. Up front, bit more single file, bit more spread out. But these guys are really going at it the further back you go, and that is exciting to see. That is really nice to see all this competition here this year in the Sundrop Cup Series after last year really had no DNQs. It was mainly just, everyone who entered the race starts. As you see, Colton Lane is picked up 4th on Curtis, but it's happy to see that we do have some competition this year, and we're having a great Cup Series season so far. Parity for the race wins hasn't been too much, but right now what you're looking at, the highest running winner of this season so far is right now Sebastian Kukulon and Tip Foster fighting just inside the top 15. So this could be a day for them. This could be a day for both those teams, because there's Morris too, and Porta started real far back. There's Porta in 27th. So this could maybe be a day we see a new winner this year and add to the fifth different winner in the first 8 races of this season. Of course, Morris has 3 wins after winning 2 in a row. Last week at Steelback in front of the home crowd. Now remember, Eli Bright, he was the one that was able to break the 3-win-in-a-row curse. As you see, Jefferson just makes short work of Friesen for second. But last season it was Eli Bright for Texas Star Racing that finally broke the curse of the 3 wins in a row. He won in the Truck Series. His 3 wins last year came in a row. And we've never had that before in the NSDCA. So now Morris in the 55, he's right now seated just inside the top 20s, 18th right now. It'd be a big day ahead of him, but we said that at Steelback, and he went from 40th to 1st. So this could be a shot at him trying to get himself a 3rd win in a row, but we'll see if that'll happen. Now back to the Monster Motorsports duo fighting each other, Lane and Curtis. As we were talking about Lane making the move earlier, we want to mention Colton Lane here and how kind of a silent season he's had, but really it's been amazing. Average finish of 7.57 compared to Carson Bauer's 9.29. The rest of the field is about 11th or 12th on back for average finishes. His starting position hasn't been great, especially not compared to a good portion of the top 10. He only has a better starting position average than Onjak and Benyaka, who have been 2 drivers that have charged their way through the field countless races this year. Lane right now running in the 4th position. That Starbucks 60 has had some great success in these last 4 races. He hasn't won a race yet, but he has 6 top 10s in 7 races. The only other driver to do so being Carson Bowers in that 25. And Bowers right now is doing it. He's up in that 9th position. So we're going to see Colton Lane, Carson Bowers. It could be a battle of consistency this year between the 60 and 25. Lane won his title before, breaking records in the Mountain Dew Custom Series with multiple wins. I think it was a 4-win season for the driver of the number 14 back in those days of his Mountain Dew Custom Series competition. And then you have Bowers, who only won 2 races in his season and 1 race to his truck title. So we could see some of the greatest consistent drivers the series has ever seen fighting for that top spot, especially you see Onjak up in front, but especially Morris has 3 wins, and he's barely inside the top 10 in points. He's still a full race behind, plus some, at 61 points behind Colton Lane. So the 55 and 19 teams haven't been the kings of consistency yet this year. Kukulon, though, has kind of dropped back in a bit. We're going to take a look at the back half of the group just a little bit. There's Smith and Perez fighting each other. Cordell Smith and Vince Freeze making his start in that 34. William Duncan struggling today. Just not a fan of ovals in general, but not a fan of the shorter, more brake-heavy ovals. That 33 car kind of struggles on that. Look at the rest of the way through the field. Strigley has dropped back a little bit further. Yepes is trying to move his way up. He's up to 26th in the 35 after starting this event from the 36th position. Same with Reed, 37th to 24th. Whoa, Eli Bright real close there. In that, there's an oil leak on the 83 of Benyako, and he's coming down pit road. So the Brisk Ice T 83, that's heartbreaking to see for Benyako. They're going to have to repair that 83 and probably take him out of competition. But right now, that's about halfway through a fuel run. He's coming down, so he still has time to get this going here in the 83, but you see how much time he's going to lose. Yeah, it is heartbreaking to see for Benyako. He's going to take his tires now, though. There's Peter Onjak, though, and you see the gap. There's the back of that grid between the 97 to 52, and there is Onjak now leading by about 2 seconds over Jay Jefferson. About 2.5, 2.7 back to Friesen. Then Curtis and Lane fighting now for that 4th spot as Curtis, I think, got back past Lane. Irving Allison in 6th, having a quiet season for BGM. Cody Goforth has been up front and missed race wins barely. Morris has those 3 wins. Irving's just been kind of there, but very strong no matter what for that 16 driver. 3 top 10s, no top 5s. 18th in points, but that's still enough to keep you in contention for a Cup Series chase berth with a wild card run. There is Bowers has cleared Murray. Looking further back, there's Kukulon, Edson, Cloud, Goforth under a blanket with Morris. So a bunch of Toyotas and Logan Cloud as Goforth throws it up 3 wide. Cloud real slow on that outside. Don't know if that's the line or if he's just backing out. Maybe something's wrong with that 77 car. But there you see the rest of the field we're going to go through right there. As the guys at the back fight, there's Benyako has come back out right in front of Jefferson, so that's going to help Onjak. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. 27 of 125 complete here at the Delphi Technologies 400 at I-69. Onjak Jefferson leading the field over Friesen and the monster duo of DJ Curtis and Colton Lane. Bring guys right back to the action here at I-69 right after this. Back live here at the I-69 Speedway. Peter Onjak now catching up to the tail end of this lead lap as you see Patrick Smith just ahead of him. Benyako starting to catch up. Benyako has fresher tires, about 25 laps fresher tires in that 83 car. He is 2 laps down. However, he's going to pass Patrick Smith right here. Again, that does not help for the free pass position. It's not the first driver that is laps down behind the leader. It's the first driver 1 lap down or the first driver off the lead lap as the standing score as they come across the line. So Benyako could get his lap back, or at least 1 lap back the old-fashioned way, driving past Peter Onjak. But right now he's going to have to hope and pray maybe that 97 passes Onjak back, and then someone in front of him has an issue, because then he'd get his laps back. But I don't think at this point that oil leak's probably going to kill that 83's chance of running decently here. He's off cycle of the leaders, and if it truly is about a 50-lap fuel window, he'd actually be able to make it to the end of the race on 1 more pit stop if he stretches it to lap 75 like he should be able to on a 50-lap fuel window. We'll see how that fares out for Benyako, but Onjak is now in the midst of a war going on back here. Jose Perez, Cordell Smith, Vince Freeze, Ryan Butcher, and William Duncan just ahead of your race leaders. Benyako's going to get one of his laps back right there from Onjak. Going to go to the wide-angle shot. You saw Jefferson right there. That's how far it is between first and second. 3.1 seconds between the two of them. We'll see if Jefferson can use that power that he learned in the NSDCS to get up there. As Benyako goes for a big dive underneath the 52 and 03. Onjak still tearing his way through, but it's really stalling out. We said it's hard to make passes here, and it looks like, you know, you're accustomed to that clean air. Now he's having to deal with cars around him. It's still hard to make moves to get done here with as many grooves as you can make on the racetrack, so you really got to make that momentum run there as the 44 now is going to get to the inside of Jose Perez. Might be able to put the Team Mirdo 03 down a lap. Benyako now fighting William Duncan. There's Monaco, Peters, Eves just ahead. Bit of a pack battle right here. Anderson Reed's continuing his charge through the field there in that 3. Man, they really kind of slowed down getting into the corner there, but he goes up the track there in that 3 car. He's right now just inside, fighting Spurleytube for that 21st position. Almost won this race Friday night, but just came up just short in that 3 car. We'll see what he can do here. He's had a great last few weeks, though, in the Cup Series. 2nd place at Richmond, top 10 at Steelback. I'm pretty sure he had a top 10. I know he was running top 10 there. The Wawa colors back on the car. He's always happy to drive the Wawa mobile as Yepes dives it to the inside of Spurleytube, getting aggressive. And there goes Yepes, and here comes Porta down to the inside as well in the Ignusa Beer number 20. This scheme was supposed to run Road America. They ended up not putting that on the car. They ran DeWalt instead, and Sunoco instead, went to Victory Lane. Ignusa wants to see that now this time around at I-69. Don't know if that's going to work for him here. Is now Anderson Reed continuing his charge through the field right onto the back of another Anderson. That's battle for 21st between those guys. Dusty Neal's been charging through the field just a bit. Never mind, he's fallen back. I thought he started near the back. That was at Steelback. He's up to 19th right now. Foster back to 17th. Doesn't look like that car is handling too well. He's just trying to nurse it, probably till pit stops. Get it home in one piece today. Johnson versus Burkhart. That's for the 15th position. Goforth. There's Alloy in the 11th position, but the problem is he's never done a live pit stop in a race in a Sundrop Cup Series car before, so we'll have to see how his pit stop goes coming down the front straightaway here as he's fighting Cody Goforth for everything. And there's Morris. We just said he could still win this race if you give him enough time, and he's up to the 9th position now. It looks like that car starting to be a long-run car as he's moving up. And I just saw up front on the ticker, Onjak being caught by Jefferson because of the lap traffic. Now Jefferson has met the lap traffic. He's gained about 2 seconds on Onjak in that amount of time, but now the lappers are fighting back, and you see it's pretty hard to, we said it's pretty hard to make passes here, especially when the tires get worn. That inside line's not going to run too hot as you're trying to work past him. Now Onjak looking to the inside of Vince Freeze here. Freeze right now in the 35th position, trying to stay on the lead lap as Butcher goes right behind him. Onjak real low again there as we go down this back straightaway. Coming up to pit stops, though, soon, and we'll have to see how these guys navigate it under the green flag, and I thought Onjak was slowing down there. He is not. Jefferson now trying to get past Jose Perez. Patrick Smith a bit further back. There you see Friesen and Curtis battle for third as Curtis is going to look to the inside as they charge under the RHR 52. That's not going to happen. Jefferson does indeed clear Jose Perez. We'll go back to the wide-angle cam for a couple laps here because you can see the gap between him and Onjak has diminished severely. Hagan now down pit road. Onjak now down pit road. So there is the strategy. 43 laps in. So you can make it to 50 laps if you were saving, of course. 50 laps. Usually when we say the fuel window, it's pretty much the longer end of the fuel window that we always discuss. But that's going to put Jefferson into the race lead. And it looks like he's going to try for the overcut in that 48. Make sure he has enough fuel and tires to make it to the end here at I-69. But here comes a majority of the cars back on in. And we're going to have our first live pit stops as Cordell Smith really comes in late in that 52. And he's going to come in, pull into his pit box. And there you see Onjak in the 44, still working on that car there, as they're going to bring them back off of pit road. Everyone coming down to the attention of their pit crews. Irving Allison and Carson Bowers might have beat Onjak off of pit road. A bit of a slow stop for the 44, as everyone is now down getting their service here on this racetrack. And it could be Irving Allison now, your race leader, in the 16, if we can get to him. There he is. Irving's leading this race. Just came off of pit road. So what a drive by Irving Allison now. In that 16 car, he could be your race leader here at Steelback. Onjak now could be, is he a lap down in the 44? I don't know. We're waiting for everyone to come back out. Oh, Jefferson. This is interesting. This is really interesting. Irving Allison might have... Oh, no, he's coming in. Okay, so I thought I saw Irving coming or staying out. He is just coming in now. So I apologize for that. Bowers was the one... Now Bowers is coming back out. I swear I just saw those two come off of pit road. Maybe I am mistaken. But the field will update as we go around here as these guys all get back onto their race positions. There's Onjak there. Okay, he is up in second. So Onjak fighting Colton Lane right there as they come off of pit road, and it's going to be the spot on Colton Lane. He will take that spot away from Lane. So Onjak should be your race leader as we come around. We'll wait for the field to update as we come back around, but it will be Peter Onjak leading this race in the 44. So as we come around, we'll try to keep it at the top of the screen. Peter Onjak leading this race. Carson Bowers second. Irving Allison third. Friesen fourth. Jefferson, poor pit stop for the 48. He's back to 7th in that 48 car. Murray 8th. Curtis 9th. Tib Foster up to 10th. And Tibbs blowing up. This could be bad, especially on this back straightaway here at I-69 if he can't make it the rest of the way around the track. Now he's trying to stay out of the way of everyone. And now as he comes down this back straightaway, he's trying to get to the inside now. Kind of trapped in the middle. Onjak almost nails him. And I think this is going to bring us to a caution here as that car is going to stall on the back straightaway. Yellow flag is out. Jefferson almost hits him as well. And we're under caution for the first time today. Tib Foster blowing up on the back straightaway. And Jefferson, you saw how evasive he went into that corner. Got right out of there. Foster ends up, it's an engine failure on the 40. And this is going to stack everyone back up. But the field got just jumbled up a little bit. And that's going to save Alex Benyako. We said Benyako could be out of this one. He is 8th on the lead lap as he got to stay out during that shuffle. So that puts the 83 of Alex Benyako on the lead lap. He's going to bring it in here, so he's going to be at the tail end, but what a drive by the 83 Benyako back on the lead lap as Onjak leads this race. Oh, man, I-69 has had a couple scares with people blowing up on the backstretch. That was a real close call. Morris and Neal look like they're having a discussion over who should be 21st. Game says Morris. Couple cars down pit road. It's a couple of the lappers, too, so this might be a quickie yellow here as the 03 and 52 coming back out. The 83 is going to be coming back out, so got a quick caution here. We'll try to get us back green as soon as possible. 51 laps through this one. Coming up to the halfway point, it's Onjak in the race lead over Bowers, Goforth, Friesen, and Allison. First incident isn't really an incident. It's more of just a expiration of the engine. Tib Foster blows up, similar to what Robert O'Reilly did in the Mountain Dew Custom Series race to bring out a caution. However, no one hits Foster, thankfully. He can't really get down. You see cars going by him on the inside, so he's trying to keep it out, but you see how slow it is. It's not going to make it to pit road. Tries to get down, near miss from boss Peter Onjak. Also, the 85, 17, and 48 are going to have some very near misses with Tib. We're under caution for the first time today here at I-69.
Thanks for coming.
Eat a dick.
Okay. We're doing things a little bit different today. This is the new 2017 Chevy Cruze. I'm only going to show you half of this car and ask you your initial opinions about it. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it looks very sleek, a little bit of attitude to it.
That is the ugliest fucking car I have ever seen.
And it starts at $22,190.
Nice. That's a great price.
22,190 what? Half dollars? But wait, doesn't it say right here, as shown 29,860? So what, this car that we're looking at is not 22,190, it's 29,860?
There's another side to this car.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
My God, you guys and your doors.
This is the first ever Chevy Cruze hatch.
Wow.
Good choice on the
So check
color
it
there.
out.
What is that? Burnt rust?
What's your first impression of seeing the whole car now?
Honestly, I'm just as disappointed with the back half as I was with the front half. Maybe
Remember,
more.
this is the first ever Chevy Cruze hatchback.
I hope it's the
Let's see what
last.
we got in here. So now that you know it's a hatchback with lots of room, what does it make you think of?
Makes me think of someone that's gonna overpay for a piece of shit.
I still see like a young professional / weekend warrior. The whole like business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, Debbie Potter's in the back.
Back live here at I-69. Under caution, Carter Friesen gearbox issue on the 85 takes that car behind the wall. A great day for the 85 team goes up in smoke. Peter Onjak leads, Carson Bowers second, Goforth third, Irving Allison fourth, Jay Jefferson fifth, Murray sixth, Curtis seventh, Cloud eighth, Hagan ninth, and Burkhart in 10th. Strigley 11th, Reed 12th, Ray 13th, Evan Hunter 14th, Austin Johnson 15th, Eve 16th, Kukulon 17th, Morris 18th, Neal 19th, Alex Peters 20th, Benyako is 21st, and Zachary DeLello got the wave around up to 22nd as Carter Friesen falls off of the lead lap and out of this one. Just under halfway in this event. Still a long way to go. Peter Onjak leading us down with Carson Bowers in second. Let's see what the Onj Auto duo can do. Onjak with the jump. Green flags back in the air. It's Onj Auto versus BGM up front as Goforth now jumps for that second position. Irving Allison in the 16 going to jump. No, he's going to try for the third spot. Will not happen. As now Austin Murray's going to try to jump past Jay Jefferson. You got DJ Curtis there. The rest of the field coming on around as they come by. Strigley has Anderson Reed all over the back of him. One car ducks down pit road. That's Alex Peters in the 01. That's heartbreaking to see. Some kind of issue, probably a flat tire on the 01 on that. So a great job getting that car off the racetrack early as Goforth clears into second. You're looking at the rest of the field as they head down into turn number 3 and 4. There's Jeff Alloway now is going to lose possibly a spot to Larry Hagan. Battle for that 8th position, but what a run we're seeing from the rookie. His debut race, and he's inside the top 10 for Pedal Metal Racing. Now you got Irving Allison. Whoa, just squeaking it to the inside of Bowers. Here comes Alex Peters coming back out. He's going to be in the midst of this front group. Hopefully no one hits him as Hagan has to divert his line to let that 01 through. Now Irving Allison going after Carson Bowers. Battle for third heating up with Bowers, Jefferson, Irving Allison, Austin Murray, DJ Curtis all in the mix back here as Curtis is throwing it right to the inside of Murray. Irving Allison blocking both lanes there, and it's not going to work. Jefferson's going to carry on the outside as Cody Goforth sets sail trying to catch Peter Onjak further up. There is Alloway now fighting his way towards that 7th position. as he goes after DJ Curtis. Austin Murray, what would it be to get a top 5 in your first ever start? Caution is out. Caution back out on the track. Larry Hagan is upside down. That's the second TSR car upside down in Michigan this weekend. Joseph Strigley might have been in it as well, and those two were fighting a bit aggressively earlier on this restart, and that is going to bring us to a caution. That's going to give Alex Peters the free pass in the 01. That's interesting. Irving Allison's going to stay out. So will Austin Murray. Brady Burkhart, Matthew Eves, Alex Beniaco, Stephen Wallace Jr. are going to stay out. So here we go. That's going to be a good battle. We're going to see Alex Peters will get the free pass in the 01 as Hagan now falls a lap down. His day is done. So Onjak brings that 44 down to pit road. We'll see what these teams do as they get ready to come off of pit road. You got Onjak, Jefferson, Curtis right in a row right there. Onjak goes for 2 tires only in that 44, and Jefferson, Curtis, looks like the rest of these guys going to go for 4. Alloway goes for 2 with Bowers. Looks like Goforth must have as well as Jefferson, Curtis. They're going to take some time to get themselves a bit of a slow pit stop here for some of these guys here at I-69, and now they got to hope they can get back out on track before this yellow flag is up as Jefferson, Curtis, Lane having a very long pit stop now as they might, I don't know if they have an issue or what. Austin Johnson's on pit road. He's coming off. Jacob Edson, Dusty Neal are coming off of pit road, but we got a ton of cars. Now Lane, Jefferson go. Curtis is going to leave now. Strigley's leaving, so now those guys will be near the tail end of this one, and that goes another chance for Jefferson to get a good finish here out the window. Irving Allison, Austin Murray, Burkhart, Matthew Eves, Beniaco stayed out. These guys also stayed out. DeLello, I believe, stayed out in the 57. Everyone else behind him came in, so we'll re-rack them, restack them. It is Alex Peters getting the free pass there in that 01. Can bring guys back to the action right after this, after we see what happened to Larry Hagan. This is a big hit for Larry, and we are thankful he was able to climb out of that race car. Joseph Strigley sends it in, and that 21 gets popped up and tears down a good portion of the fence. We're under a red flag here for that reason here. But a vicious crash, flipping over. Don't know what Strigley was doing, just came up straight into the 21. You see it rip the wheels and rear bumper off that thing. Thankful that Larry is okay. Bring us back to the action right after this.
Hi. I'm a big fan, Michael. Big fan of Napa parts, too. I collect die-cast race cars and customize them to make them look more authentic. I've got a couple for you to sign. It's your Fontana car, yeah. Remember when you had that big fire?
Yeah, yes, I remember.
I also have your 90 Bristol car. Oh. If you could just sign one of the bigger pieces. Whew, what a wreck.
Back live here at I-69. Going back a little early just to discuss a few things. Larry Hagan was taken out of his car awake and alert. Looking at the footage, it is thankful that he hit rear first. The rear end just sheared away. We had to go under red flag for a good bit to repair the fence, but we are back now about 30 minutes afterwards. Very quick fence repairing there. But Hagan is okay. However, he is being taken to a local area hospital, complaining of some pain in his back. After that incident, hopefully he will be okay. Also, Riley Spurley tube camshaft issue in the 28. He will not finish this race out of this one after 63 laps. So we're rounding to lap 65 here. That's going to be roughly the halfway point, just a little over the halfway point. So we still got a long way in this one to go. Irving Allison up front. Austin Murray 2nd, Burkhart 3rd, Eves 4th, Beniaco 5th, DeLello 6th, Onjak 7th, Bowers 8th, 9th, Jeff Alloway 10th, Cody Go 4th. Everyone took 4 tires under that caution except the 44, 25, 91, and that's it. Everyone else did take 4 tires, and then the guys that did not pit are your top 6 right there. We'll see how this goes at the end. I think everyone still has to pit before we end this race. However, green flag's back in the air. We're racing once again at I-69. Murray's going to get aggressive. The SBR duo with their boss, Shade Eves, in the 47 right behind him. Benyako's there. This is a big Toyota gang up in front. Eves, though, in that Dodge, just trying to do what he can. He's looking for that third position away from Burkhart. He's going to take it away as they come down the front straightaway. Give that spot to Matthew Eves in the 47 cars. Now Murray chases behind. You see Bowers now getting to the inside of Onjak. Out of those, they're going to split DeLello 3 wide. Here we go, coming off of the corner. The fresher tires of those 2-tire calls now split DeLello 3 wide. Now Benyako trying to do the same thing to Burkhart further up. Here comes the rest of the field cycling on through. There's Jefferson trying to pick his way through the field quickly. Morris back there as well, who was kind of held back. And the race for the free pass going on strong. There's all the lappers at the back, and Strigley, who did not receive the free pass. That's Alex Peters who got the free pass. They're fighting back there. Irving Allison clear into the lead, though. Murray second. Battle for third heating up as Onjak now forced 3 wide. Bowers is going to pull away. Goforth's getting by. Here comes Anderson Reed in the 3, who's been really shining on these mile and less tracks in the last few weeks. Here comes the 3. Reed now to the inside of Onjak as DeLello starts to drop through the field on those older tires. Alloway also dropping back as Jefferson charges to the front through the field. Pit road, a bit of a tricky one down here at I-69. Some issues there on pit road for many drivers. Put him to the back. Curtis Jefferson trying to charge through. Lane was laps down. He's back in this battle outside with some lap traffic. Heartbreaking day for the 60 driver. Now Eves clearing to third. Burkhart fourth. Benyako fighting Goforth for the 5th position. And, oh my gosh, did Benyako get a gift from that first caution with Tib Foster. We said that oil leak was going to take him out of this race in that Brisk Ice Tea number 83. I think he has some front-end damage to that 83 now that I'm looking at it. The hood looks a bit bent in. But no matter what, he's now in the top 5 fighting for a race win after he was 2 laps down earlier in this event because of that fuel strategy allowing him to do so. Also, for the drivers that were on 4 tires, Goforth now leads that charge with Reed in second, Bowers third, and here comes Kukulon in fourth. Look at Morris in the 55. The Aaron's Dream Machine charging through the field. Jefferson is also there, but he's lost some time, and that inside line's not working for him in that 48 car. But Goforth now picking drivers off left and right. Benyako, Burkhart real close there as Brady drops back on the outside. And now you're looking at it. Up front is Irving Allison, Murray, and Eves in second and third. But Cody Goforth, a hungry driver, is still looking for his first win. He sits in fourth. Benyako with a big run, though, in that 83, right to the back bumper of the 17. Battle for 5th starting to rage on. As one car blows up, it's Matthew Eves now. So a ton of mechanical failures today, and many of them from the Dodges. So this could be a bad thing for the Dodges. Eves going to be out of this one, 40th to 3rd, and he is done with an engine failure in that 47. And that puts Murray now. Murray had an issue with that, so he drops now to second as Goforth clears, and we're just a couple spots away. You see Morris back there in the 10th position. BGM 1-2-3 possibly on the cards as they go as Morris charges through. But we said we're looking for a new winner this week, and now Morris just taking the Dodges, the Andrado Dodges 3 wide, all over the back of Kukulon. Foster's out of this one. Porta's laps down. So as those two charge to the front, that could throw that entire thing out. But what do we want to point out? Look at all the Toyotas up here. They played strategy for sure. But Goforth, Morris, Kukulon pitted. They're charging through the field. Reed's charging through the field. Benyako, Burkhart, and Murray up here having a great day for the Toyotas. And the Dodges also fighting up here with the lone Chevrolet inside the top 10 being Anderson Reed on those fresh tires. No Fords. The highest running Ford right now is probably the RER car, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is the only Ford in the field is Max Anderson, 26th lap down, because Gemini didn't enter this race and Gatlin Downey DNQ'd. But now, those fresher tires starting to eat in quickly. Goforth catching up to Irving rapidly. Fast pace for that 17 as he's still looking for his first career win in the NSDCA. And what did we say pre-race? CLR, Coors Light Racing, in the MDCS race got their first career win this weekend. Jay Jefferson took it to the win, but it was still a first career win for the team nonetheless in the Mountain Dew Custom Series and National Series competition. Also in National Series competition, Antoine Smith won the Michigan race by just a tenth, less than a tenth of a second, passing Riley Spurleytube on the final lap. And another driver who has never won in National Series competition Cody Goforth in the 17, who just gave Irving the bumper. The older tires are going to be able to fight a little bit on the outside, but I think that 17 is going to be able to just walk on by, and that's what he's going to do. Cody Goforth clear into the lead in that 17. Reed back there in third. Murray fourth. Look at Morris up to fifth. Kukulon sixth. Bowers 7th, Onjak 8th, Jefferson 9th, and Brady Burkhart 10th, and Roger Ray fighting his way into the top 10. What a great season he's had so far in these last few races after a horrible start. He's now fighting Jefferson for that 11th position. Top 10 run for the 84 on pace. Let's see if he can do it. And Dusty Neal has charged his way back up. Curtis trying to pick off as many cars as he can. Alloway, now it looks like this. Whatever they did to the car under caution did not work. For that 91, 2 tires not working for an inexperienced driver. He's fallen all the way to 17th as Cloud and Yepes fight further back. Colton Lane real close to Max Anderson there. And the thing is, we got at least one more pit stop left on this run, and that could shake things up more. We had a great shakeup of pit stops when we came to the first green flag round this time by, so we'll have to see. Will Goforth still be able to win this race? Will Reed be able to jump him? We'll see how they navigate that pit road. The Aaron's Dream Machine 6th, Kukulon 7th. These two have combined for 5 wins this season. Morris now charging from near the back to the front again to try to win his 3rd in a row and 4th on the year. Benyako fighting him. There's Kukulon in the 19 fighting him. Bowers now. Jefferson's there. There's Ray and Onjak fighting behind him. That's just inside the top 10. Neal Burkhart now dropping like a rock. DeLello still dropping like a rock. Johnson getting real close to the back of DeLello. Alloway to the back of the 51. Lappers still fighting for any position they got as Srigley. There's Srigley. He's damaged from that earlier one. Plus he got a bit of a talking to under that caution from the NSDCA race control. Just making sure that wasn't intentional with that incident with Hagan. But right now he is pacing. He's making minimum speed in the 63. It's hard to do so at a track like this. You're going to see 155 and 168. So he's making minimum speed by 13 miles per hour. So he's pacing around this track at a competitive enough pace to stay on the track. Now you got Reed fighting Irving back here for that 2nd position. We'll see if Anderson can get clear in that car. As Irving, you see the tires wearing big time on it. Just walked him up the track real far, and Reed's going to just drive right by him in 2nd. So tires, the big key factor here now as this race is going on. And it looks like, yeah, well, I mean, he just lost 7/10 there, but we're taking a look. Yeah, you're losing maybe on average, probably at least a couple tenths. It's not major tire degradation, but it is certainly there. There's C. Morris 5th, Kukulon 6th, Jefferson 7th, Roger Ray 9th, Peter Onjak 10th. Benyako up here as well. But it's all Cody Goforth out front. 86 to 125. We're going to take a quick replay and hopefully bring you guys back to the conclusion of this event where we can watch it to the end. Cody Goforth just about 40 laps away from possibly getting his first career win. 17 car out in front at the Delphi Technologies 400. One round of 36 laps to go here in the Delphi Technologies 400 at the I-69 Speedway. Up front, they're starting to spread out. Morris and Kukulon have pulled away from this battle for the 6th position between Ray, Jefferson, Bowers, Curtis, Benyako, Onjak, Picard, and more. But we do want to point out Austin Murray, he just took his pit stop under the caution. So the 24 now has taken his final stop as he comes back out on track. It looks like someone else is coming in there. Max Anderson from the very top in that 12 is going to slide right by Patrick Smith. Hopefully he did not speed coming onto pit road. But it looks like this will be where our final pit stops are coming in. And this is the one you want to get right so you can make it to the end of this race on that final pit stop and go ahead and fight for this race win if you're there. And hope pit road does not screw you. Murray on those fresher tires, though. He'll have the older tires as they go, but he's now fighting through some lap traffic. Cody Goforth in the 17 has went out to a dominant lead of about 3 seconds now over Anderson Reed. Probably more now that Srigley was holding him up the last few laps there. And no, Reed actually gained in pretty good on Goforth. So there you see DeLello, Smith, they had their pit stop. Max Anderson has had his pit stop, so we got just a few more laps till we see more of these guys coming on in. There's Burkhart coming back out, so a few more laps till these guys come in, and that'll be the end of this one. So now Cody Goforth We'll have to see if this 17 team, if the pit crews for BGM, who have cost them a couple great runs this year already, but have also gotten them some pretty good runs this year. We'll see what Goforth can do in these closing laps. The Gold Peak T17 right now out in front, but you see DeLello right on the back of him. DeLello's going to dive to the inside. Can't really hold up but guys on fresh tires here. It looks like they can just stick the corners much better. And you see that 57 drive right on by. Irving Allison taking a bit of a time on pit road for that. Oh, never mind. He is going around to the other side. There's Morris now fighting. Ray and Kukulon fighting back here. That's for the top 5 position there. Actually for the 4th position right now, but who knows where they'll be when they come out from taking their pit stops. Cody Goforth out in front in the 17. We'll be waiting to see when he will make his stop. As Goforth was one of the guys that came down, took 4 tires under that last caution. Gold Peak T has been a personal sponsor really for Goforth for many years in the series. Back in his RER days, he ran the brown and Gold Peak colors. Came back with him to Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. Almost got him a win at Auto Club. Had it not gone down the drain for him there on that final restart. Had a strong car there. Has a strong car today for this number 17. Trying to get themselves into victory lane. And you see 5 cars have gone out of the race so far. 4 of them due to mechanical issues. Only 1 due to a crash. That's Larry Hagan as Strigley continues to run around this track. There you see Ryan Butcher. Alex Peters, he's the tail end of the lead lap right now in 14th. Butcher goes right on by. There's Reed in 2nd. Patrick Smith's going to go on by. Morris 3rd. Kukulon 4th. Jefferson trying to get himself up to 5th. There's Strigley now. He's a lap down there. And there's the rest of the field. Give a shout out to Sam Picard. We weren't paying attention to him earlier, but this 04 car really having some pace in these last few races. Evan Hunter at Richmond had a great run. There in that car, I forget which race it was. I think it was Richmond that he had a top 15 run. I forget where this run finished last week at Steelback, but he's had a good run at Picard now inside the top 10. MJM has to be pretty happy about that, showing that their boy has some pace when they're in competitive equipment. There is Irving Allison now in the 16, chasing down everyone else on those older tires. Curtis Ray and Jefferson about to go 3 wide into the corner on old tires. We'll see what line works here. Jefferson on the very outside now, 3 wide. Curtis, that inside line's going to fall away, and Ray's going to take it up the middle. Jefferson falls back, and Curtis drops pretty far behind as Kukulon now defending over Stephen Wallace Jr. Goforth putting more cars a lap down. 25 to go here at the I-69 Speedway. Again, a long way left. You have half of the MDCS race left to race here as we see some 3 and 4 wide racing. Yepes really dropping back in that 35. But we'll see. The closer you go to pit stops at the end, the less time you have to recover if you have an issue on your pit stop. And that could be big, especially too Irving Allison and those guys. Irving Allison, Logan Cloud right now were some of the guys a lap down that probably took tires by now. Those guys are now charging through the field. Well, Cloud was actually a lap down, so I don't think Cloud would be 1 lap down and have taken tires. Anyway, Eli Bright coming down pit road, but we'll see when these guys do. And Irving Allison pitting real early because he did not pit under that caution. Could probably be why it actually is. But we'll see how it comes to the end of this one with Goforth out in front. 23 to go. Next time by. Will they come down? When will he come down in that car? Anderson Reed has come down pit road by now. He's out of there. Roger Ray up to 2nd now. Jefferson 3rd. Curtis 4th. There is Irving. And he is charging through these guys on those fresh tires. He might be able to build up enough of a gap in that 16 now by pushing these tires to be able to get himself back out. Possibly go on and win this race for BGM as Jefferson's going to mount a big charge. Had a lot of momentum. Ray slammed the door. And now we are fighting up here. But here comes Irving now looking to the inside of Kurt. Ooh, real close to DJ right there. Trying to split the middle. Oh, Jefferson just braking in front of him to come down pit road. There's Jeff Alloway. Yepes down pit road. So Jefferson comes down for that pit stop. Irving's going to cut real close there. Now it looks like we have 8 cars that have not stopped. Cody Goforth, Roger Ray, DJ Curtis, Sam Picard. Jefferson just pit, so you got Carson Bowers. And it looks like Johnson and Neal are still out there, or they did come down pit road. They might have came down pit road. Ray's now coming. Curtis is coming. It did Goforth come in. Goforth is in that 17. So now This is going to be it. Here comes Jefferson back out in that 48. Who's around him? There's Sam Picard. Picard is now, I believe, the only driver that is not pit yet in that 04. So now Sam Picard leads this race temporarily until he comes in. We'll see if he comes in this time or not. And that, yes, he will. So there goes the 04 in. There's Murray. He came in a while ago. So did Reed and Benyako. There's Jefferson in the 48. There is the 17 to go forth. So did he lose time? There's Alloway. Alloway might have lost a lap, though, in the 91. It might be Burkhart now chasing down Goforth. There's Picard. No, there's Irving. There is Irving Allison, and he is off to the races. 3.2 up on Cody Goforth. Now the question is, does that maybe about 10 or 15 laps difference give Goforth enough time to catch up? And now Burkhart in the 99 is charging through the field at him, right on the back of him. Benyako's up to 4th, and Austin Murray's 5th. This could be a day for SBR, but it looks like Reed's going to take that spot away from Murray as they come down the front straightaway. Reed will take that. DeLello's up in 8th. DeLello's 7th now. Jefferson is 8th. 9th is Kukulon. 10th, Brandon Morris. Onjak 11th with Ray 12th. Sam Picard 13th. A great run for those Onj Auto guys. 14th is Carson Bowers, I believe, in the 25. That will be Bowers 14th, Neal 15th, DJ Curtis back to 16th, Austin Johnson 17th, and there is Irving Allison, your race leader by 6.4 seconds as Burkhart has gotten past Goforth. And I think this is Irving Allison's race to lose now. Here comes Colton Lane. Early pit stop issues on that 60 car have caught him a lap down. Now he's pretty much stuck running where he is. Anderson Reed is flying through the field in that 3. I thought he was a bit further back than he was from these guys. But Burkhart, Goforth now fighting for those spots. Burkhart's going to pull away. And it looks like for another time this season, a driver who dominates a part of the race will not win. Jefferson's done it multiple times this year. Goforth, he wasn't really running away with it, but that last stint he was. Now Burkhart's there. There's Benyako. Lane's going to hold up his teammate. But out in front, Irving Allison, a great round of pit stops. 6.8 seconds up in that 16 car. And he's looking to get himself a race victory here for Butcher Gatorade Motorsports, the I-69 Speedway. DeLello recovering to 7th is good. Jeff Alloway, first car, 1 lap down in the 18th position. That's the battle back there between him and no one. Because it looks like the guy behind him is Porta way back here. So yeah, Alloway must have 18th locked. Morris is trying to charge through the field, try to pick up as many spots as he can. Onjak and Jefferson now looking like it's last season as they're going at it for this 10th position instead of the race win, but they're going at it for the 10th spot. And that's still important. You get some big bonus points there. You get two more points finishing 10th than you do in 11th. Alex Peters has fallen down a lap, but he is fighting. Roger Ray 12th. Bowers up to 13th. Picard 14th. Neal is 15th. Curtis 16th. And you loop all the way around to Irving Allison there, who was just about 12 laps away this time by from taking his first ever Cup Series win. It wouldn't be as big of a win. Well, it would be a big win for him, but it wouldn't be as shocking of a win as a driver who's never won in the NSDCA and a team that's never won in the NSDCA. But Irving has never won in the Cup Series, so that still leads this kind of trend we've seen this weekend here at Michigan. William Duncan trying to go to work on him. Duncan 28th, so he's actually passed a few guys being a lap down in that 33. But right now, Irving, I mean, what can you say? 11 laps away as he goes around, 11 miles away from his first Cup Series victory in that 16 car. And he's trying to win this one, of course, for the entire country of Spain, all behind him there in that 16 car, 16 garage. And Butcher Gatorade Motorsports looking for their 4th win on the year. And again, didn't even mention this entire race until now. This could be another Toyota victory on the ovals. And still, as we run, no team other than Toyota has won on an oval race, as it was only Foster and Porta who won on the road courses. Battle for second starting to heat up. Lane's passing both of them, but now Anderson Reed's looking to the inside on Burkhardt for second. Where to? This 55 is on fire after those pit stops. What a drive he's having. He's going for the third spot on Anderson Reed right now. Reed's been charging as he gets into Cordell Smith, and now the 55's looking for second, so Morris is the closer here in that 55 car. The Aaron's Dream Machine flying those colors nicely here under the lights, as now the two purple cars going at it as Burkhardt kind of slows up in front of Morris. And I cannot believe the pace the 55 team has shown this year. And in these last 4 races, it has been outstanding. If they finish right here, I mean, this is going to be a great show for the 55 team. Lane working under freeze. That's actually for position in front of him. And Morris is still pulling away from him. So I don't know if it was an adjustment. He came in later than these guys. I don't know what's going on. But that 55 is now on fire charging. So is Anderson Reed. I said he was charging a bit earlier. Burkhardt's starting to fade. Banyako's in 5th, but not for long. Kukal on 6th. Onjak charging through his 7th. Goforth is fading in 8th in that 17 car. Murray 9th. DeLello 10th. Now Jefferson 11th. Might have just gotten a shove from the 01 as Bowers is charging. So it looks like the Onge Auto guys really hit a great setup on that last run, because now Bowers is about to take 11th away from Jay Jefferson as they go for it, and that's going to happen. Bowers is going to get it as DeLello gets 3 wide again from lap cars. So Bowers looking for that top 10 run. Ray's 13th, Picard 14th. SWJ and Johnson getting real aggressive there. Johnson 15th, Curtis 16th. Neal's car is fading. He's 17th. But all we're watching is this man right here. The Spanish man, Irving Allison. He got 2 wins last year. Did not make the chase. He got one of them in the regular season. The other one was in the chase, during the chase. And he missed out because he was not high enough in the points to get the 2 wildcard spots that were available. Now this year, he's mounting a charge. Came into this race 18th in points. Pretty good average finish as Duncan puts the bumper to the 16. He's just trying to finish maybe 1 less lap down as Neal's car is really starting to fade. And it's 3 laps to go for Irving Allison and the Eris BGM Toyota team. And possibly getting their 5th win on the year. 6th win. No. Toyota's 6th win on the year. BGM's 4th win on the year. And really just Toyota dominance on the ovals. What can you say? Had a couple dodges up front in Onjak and Foster, or Onjak and Jefferson further up in this race. Had a couple others running up front, but a great pit stop. Great strategy for the 16. It's going to get him out there. And now Neal goes a lap down, so he's about to lose a spot to Jeff Alloway. And Alloway, as we come around to the white flag, what a run he's had. Kept the car clean, kept the nose clean. And he's going to come out with a top 20 in that 91. Maybe a 17th if he can get around Neal. But whatever it is, it's the white flag in the air for Irving. He knows the next time he crosses the line, this race is over and it's his. And what a drive by BGM. They are really showing the Toyota dominance this year. Dodge, Chevy, and Ford have nothing for the Yoders this year. Irving Allison, though, wants to put his name up there and try to get into the chase with this win at I-69. The Delphi Technologies 400 goes to Irving Allison and Butcher Gatorade Motorsports. It's going to be Morris, Reed, Kukulon, and Onjak taking the top 5 with a charge by pretty much all of those guys through the field. Bowers is going to come home maybe with 8th there. And what a drive at the end, and Irving's going to take it. There you see Alloway 17th for the rookie, a great run there. But that is amazing for Irving now, the 2nd driver this season, not born in the U.S. to take home a victory. You got Kukulon, Foster, and Morris, the U.S.-based drivers, and you got the Italian stallion, Matty Porta, and the Spanish man, Irving Allison, taking home this win. And with that, I-69's over. A decent race, however, pit road seemed to be a problem for many of these drivers, and that really cost a majority of these guys some track position, and really gave Irving Allison this race victory. What a run he saw. What a run by the 55, the 44, 25 at the end, all to get into that front top group. Onjak coming on 5th, Morris 2nd, Reed 3rd, Kukulon 4th. Bowers 9th. That's a bunch of guys that charged through the field. Roger Ray 13th. Going to be happy about that. Jefferson not happy about a 12th. after he was running so good today. Same with Goforth. Came into pit road in the lead. Ended up about 12 seconds behind Irving. But Irving Allison comes home with the victory today. That is 3 first-time winners in their series, whether it be a team or a driver, in the MDCS, CRTS, and SDCS races this weekend. What a race we saw here at I-69. What an absolutely amazing race we saw with some great strategy. Thankfully, Larry Hagan, he's still at the hospital. They're checking on him. We'll see what he will do. But that is a different kind of race we've seen. Multi-groove, some major pit strategy, and really only one caution for an incident. If Foster just didn't stop on the back straightaway, if that engine wouldn't have quit that early, we would have only had one caution in 125 laps in what could really be argued as a bit of a short track style race here in the NSDCA. However, it is Irving Allison taking home the victory. We'll be back next week at the Nashville Fairgrounds. I'm pretty sure that's next week's race for the Sundrop Cup Series. And then we head home to Pocono for a triple header weekend with the Cup and Truck Series doubleheader there in that event. Irving Allison takes home the victory at I-69, joining Antoine Smith in victory lane for SBR and Jay Jefferson for CLR here at the Michigan triple header. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.